Hi, this is Lucy and welcome to a special video today. I'll be releasing this video on May the 4th as I released my first video on May the 4th, 2020. It's been a long 2 years and we've been through a lot together. COVID obviously, which has been tough on all of us, especially those who have lost people. Great political upheaval and wars, and for me personally, a difficult divorce, almost facing homelessness, and trying to deal with everyday crises on my own with serious health problems. I would like to thank you for being here and for being supportive, especially to my patrons who are donating money to keep the channel afloat given the economic climate and my dwindling income. So again, a big thank you. Anyway, on to the build. My first build was called the Pagoda House, and I still love the build, although forgive me, the video quality and sound is terrible. It was a small house with overhanging roof, and we'd recently acquired wallpaper, which meant being able to decorate the outside of our buildings. The interior is very sparse, and for those that remember earlier in the game, decorations were few and far between. So for my 2-year anniversary, I decided to reimagine this house, and this is what it looks like. It's yellow. Yes, I seem to be obsessed with yellow at the moment. I decided to build this in the Savage Divide because I thought the trees here were more appropriate. Yes, there is a rock sticking through the deck here because no matter what I put on top of it, it will not disappear. I've just learnt to live with it. I have actually made the house smaller. It's only 2x2 instead of 3x3. We have an outdoor garden area here, partly because there is a rock sticking through the ground that I can't get rid of. Sorry, more mole rats. Apparently endless mole rats today. I have an outdoor eating area here. These are the candles in bottles, the little ones that I've just merged down into the planter. Obviously we have a full workshop round the back. I placed my bird on the pillar so that it looks like it's hanging off. Obviously because it's on a corner here there is a bit sticking out the bottom. I couldn't do anything about that. I replicated a paper wall. I will show you how to do that. The first person I saw do that I think was Stole Your Sweet Roll, who is having a well-deserved break from 76 at the moment. The shelves are decorated fairly sparsely, and you will see why in a moment if you haven't twigged already. The kitchen counters, I used the electric fire. I merged two together and then sunk them down into the foundation using a foundation merge. I saw that from a person called Mayu. I will put a link down below. I don't know if they actually merged them into the ground, but I just caught it briefly in a video and I thought, oh, I know what that is. This is the bathroom. It is just a little toilet and sink. This is the back of the bookcases because I have basically created a faux quarter wall with that. Sorry, half vertical wall. So it is quite tiny inside. I've made my own bed using tables and benches, and I have made railings from conduits because everything else just didn't work for me in this build. So there are again no windows. Now when I first did this build I said it would be great to have glass walls or roofs, but because these are corner pieces to get the pagoda effect, There is no glass corner piece. So we're kind of left with this. I mean, you could, if you were absolutely desperate to have windows in here and you have the glass set, you could convert this to glass. Whoops, missed. But you would need to do the roof beyond glass as well to get any actual light in here. I'm really pleased with how this turned out. I really like the colours. So now I will show you how to build it. So I've placed my camp widget in this clearing so that it just includes the edge of the road. I haven't shown you where we are on the map. We are just down the road from Emmett Mountain Disposal, and although I have not been blocked by camps here very often, I have to say something I didn't take into consideration when building here was that after Rad Rumble a lot of people put tents outside Emmett Mountain Disposal, so there have been occasions when I haven't been able to place this camp because of tents, so just be aware of that if you build here. The house itself is a 2x2 grid with foundations all the way around for the porch, so make sure that you can get all of that in. If you do have things sticking through the floor, use confetti. I have made the foundations slightly higher than I normally would because it is such difficult terrain to build on. That's why I put the lower porch on the front here. If you start to get confused about which bit's which, I would suggest that you build the porch in a different colour. So this is your final floor plan. It is a 4x4 grid. I'm just going to tidy up slightly. We can now start adding the walls to the house. I will be double walling it. Going to leave this one empty for the time being so that we can get the ladder and the wall on for the bathroom. Going to put one wall here, then a catwalk. Attach a ladder to the catwalk. To do that, you will have to remove this foundation. Like so. Then take that off. It does get dark under the trees very quickly, so I may have to relog a few times during this build. To get the offset for the bathroom wall, I'm going to attach a catwalk and a foundation like this. Remove the catwalk. Pull this up like so. Now we can't attach a floor under here because it will make the ladder valid. It means that we won't be able to move the ladder, or we won't be able to remove the floors back to the original position. So I am going to put one wall on like this. I am going to put a doorway in like this. I am going to turn the wall into a full wall and remove it. Then I am going to go back and take a doorway. Can't really see. Let's get rid of this. We want to make sure that it's facing outwards, like that. Can then remove the door and put that back on like that. So we now have a double wall in the half position. We need to put our foundations back to the original position. Be very careful, because this is illegal. If you snap it to the bottom of the ladder, you have to start again. We should now be able to just pull that one forward like that. We now have our bathroom wall and our floating staircase. Just checking that. And we can get our, whoops, upper floor on there like that. To build the paper wall, we are going to put a normal double wall on like this. We are then going to place another foundation, remove this foundation and pull this foundation out slightly. I would normally stand in front of it to do this, but unfortunately, because there is a slight rise here, it was actually raising the level, which I don't want. We can then put another foundation on, snapping it to this one, leaving a gap. And you will have to experiment with this. Eventually, if you pull it back far enough, you will be able to get another wall on, and it won't right, there we go. Right, before we place that, I am going to change this back one into a wall like this, so that you have this surface, and on this surface we are going to put some wall lights. Why aren't you a doorway? We can now put our third wall on. Now, if you want to select these, I would suggest you do it from the side here. You can select. So this one is the back one. We are going to put yellow wallpaper on it. And then we are going to turn it into a flat wall. This one is the outer one. We are going to turn that into a flat wall as well. So now you have your wall, and we can push that. No, we can't push that foundation in. Temporarily change it back to a doorway, so we can push this foundation back in like this, and then the outer one again, flat wall. Now if I put a generator down quickly, It does show up much better at night, but you will be able to see the light through the wall, making it look like a paper wall. For the doorway, I actually used the brick set because I really like that wooden effect over the doorway. Right, for the rest of the house, we are going to put the rest of the floors on. Now, because this ladder is illegal, if you put a floor down and you get it wrong, you will not be able to remove it, so be careful. I am going to put a half there. Right, the other thing we're going to do is we are going to go all the way around to create that covered porch. Well, we're going to try if the floors will behave. Again, the same applies. If you put one in the wrong position, you will not be able to take it off, so just take your time. Be very careful and make sure you have it where you want it before you confirm. It's actually quite difficult to see if they're in the right position here. There we go. As I said previously, the light here is not great because of the trees. Right, we have this. So it should look something like this. Some of these trees will be disappearing. If you want them out of the way, just put something down to block them. Right, to get the roofs on, we are going to start with a triangle roof. You can convert this to a log cabin if you want, and then afterwards you can actually remove it. I am going to use the black ones like this. We're going to be doing some jiggery pokery with these in a minute. They are a bit of a pain because the corner piece is on the same tab as the flat piece, I think. Yeah. Okay. Snap a corner on and go back and just go around and snap them on. Right, to do the rest, we are just going to put some half walls up. You don't have to double wall these because the backside is not showing. And once those walls are in place, you can put final roofs on, which are 4 more of these corner pieces. Come on. It just went on. Thank you. Right. So your roof should look something like this now. Now, actually, I'm just going to pick this generator up because I'm going to show you something I did with this house. I'm going to make all of these roofs flat. To do that, I'm going to turn them into one that you can flatten. And I am going to put my generator down on this flat roof. And I am going to place a conduit here and connect it up to the generator. Then just go around and make all of these roofs flat. You don't have to go all the way around. It depends how many powerful things you have and power usage things you have. But what you can effectively do is just take your conduits now and place them like this all the way around the house. Wire them up. The vertical ones do not have as much reach. And we can now actually just remove that as well. We don't need it anymore. So we can wire up the whole house invisibly, and you can have, I mean, you could put 2 or 3 generators in if you have lots of power needs. Then all you need to do is just convert these back into the vertical position. And the conduits and the generator will stay below. Convert any green ones back to black. So you have a fully powered house now with completely hidden generator and conduits and cables. It also means, as enemies quite often will attack your generator, they can't actually get to it. It's protected. I put pillars along the corners. As you know, these won't snap. I normally use a half floor. You cannot attach floors to this floor. If you do, you will not be able to take them off. You can do it by offsetting a foundation. I did that for the corner pieces. Just offset your foundation using a catwalk by half. Like so. And then you can get your pillars in the corners. Now, in some places I could not get the foundation all the way around because, for example, this tree is not movable. You can't put a foundation through it. So for some of these pieces, what I did was I'll do it at the front actually because of the light. I got 2 of these corner catwalks, lined them up like so, and then I found that I could actually go on there snap the pillar underneath here. Make sure you have your corners facing the right way. It's being a pain. This is wrong, you want it like this, and then we're going to be snapping it to the middle of this one. Don't think I actually put a pillar in that position, but you get the idea. So just go round and add all your pillars. If you do have a problem putting any of these on, you can manually place them with a blueprinted pillar. This one of my patrons asked me recently, this was an Aquanova trick. Rather than use a mat to place a pillar, she used a conduit. So this one will not go on. If you want to find a join point, just temporarily change your foundation to a different colour, and you can just do it like that. Take the top pillar off. This blueprint does not work without the top pillar. Remove the conduit. So there are lots of ways to put pillars on, whatever way works for you. Because we have the pillars on the edges of the foundations rather than the middle, you should be able to snap whatever fence you want on. I use these barbed wire fences. You can use whatever you want. And because it was quite high up here, I added... It's getting dark. You can see how the paper light is working now anyway. But as I said, it gets very dark here very quickly. I created a step, another sort of faux porch here. Just take this one off, lower this one down. Snap to the lower position, snap to the lower position. And just carry on with your fencing here. I used the haunted house steps here. And then just go around inside and change these walls to whatever you want. I think I used... Some of these were, this was a plain wall. I think I used the haunted house window. I can never find anything in this build menu. There it is. I think that was another window. I decorated outside with these cage bulb lights, which I thought looked really cute on here because they look a bit like hanging lanterns. Put as many or as few as you like. So I've relogged to show you how I built the wall in here at the end using bookshelves. It was just too dark to actually see much in there. So it's made from 4 bookcases, these brown ones. You basically make 2 sets of 2, which you will line up perfectly, which I'm probably not doing. Now obviously I put things on my bookshelves, so I would suggest that you do that before you do anything else. And the thing to bear in mind when merging down is that when you merge these together, the things on the bottom bookshelf will move down. So the top ones you can merge items all the way to the bottom, but on the bottom shelf just merge them slightly off the bottom so you have a little bit of play for when you merge these shelves into each other. And I'm going to take my pressure plate and a mannequin. Now I know there are other ways of doing this. The reason I do it this way is that if you use a pressure plate on a pressure plate, or if you wire it up, power it up, I have found that halfway through a session the pressure plate will come back up. And if I'm in the zone, I find that really annoying that I have to stop what I'm doing and redo it. With the mannequin, it works every time. And it stays down. These bookshelves, you are going to put them on a pressure plate and you are going to merge them 3 times. Then put this one on top of this one. It's obviously not very straight, but you get the idea. And then you will find that this will go into this space. You can line it up perfectly so it looks flush. It disappears into the ceiling, there are no gaps, and you have a faux wall here. It looks better with wallpaper, but obviously you can spend a little bit of time lining that up perfectly. I used yellow on the end walls and white on the side walls in here. I used the circus trailer door for the door on this one, and I also used it for the bathroom. So it's starting to look... Oh, my thing's not working. Because I've put wallpaper on this wall, on the inside, what's happened is the lights have been removed. So be aware of that. If your lights disappear, it's because of wallpaper on the inside, because these are on the back of the inside wall. But it is easy to fix. There we go. So this is the build. Decorate how you want. I thought it would be fun to revisit this build after 2 years, but also to use it as a tool to show how much building in 76 has changed in that time. Partly because of new building content from Bethesda, but also because of the ingenuity of the 76 community, finding ways to create the camps we want with a limited building system. So thank you to all of you as well. That's all from me today. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll keep watching for another 2 years.